The fall of Bursa, a dream stained in blood. The winds that blew over the Kayı tribe that evening carried the scent of war and sorrow. The horizon was stained with the hues of twilight as a wounded Sophia, bloodied, breathless, and broken, staggered through the gates of the Kayı stronghold. Her arrival was not just a harbinger of chaos, but a symbol of the storm already unleashed. Osman Bey stood tall, his eyes sharp and burdened with the weight of 1,000 battles. As Sophia collapsed before him, whispers of treachery and betrayal echoed through the camp. Her wounds spoke before her lips could. This was no mere skirmish. This was war. Soon the truth was unveiled. Claudius, the ever-deceitful shadow behind many conspiracies, had once again struck. But this time he was not alone. Backed by the ruthless Alcuchers, merciless soldiers loyal to a brutal Mongol commander, Claudius had set his eyes on the jewel of Anatolia, Bursa. By the time the Kayı scouts returned, their eyes hollow and voices trembling, the deed was done. Bursa had fallen. The sacred land that had stood as a beacon of hope for generations was now under enemy control. Smoke rose from its walls. Blood stained its streets. And the dreams of many lay buried beneath its crumbled stones. In the heart of the tribe, silence prevailed. The hearths burned low, and not even the cries of the children could pierce the sorrow that hung in the air. In Osman's tent, 2 young men sat in stunned disbelief, his sons, Aledin and Orhan. "My bey," Orhan said, voice choked. "Bursa was not just a city. It was our dream." Aledin clenched his fists. "It was the dream of our forefathers. It was to be the gate through which our swords would carve the path of justice." Their pain was not merely the pain of loss. It was the pain of failure, of having let slip a dream woven through the blood, prayers, and sacrifices of generations. The dream of Bursa had lived in the hearts of the Kayı people long before Osman raised his sword. It was not just a city. It was Kızıl Elma, the red apple, a symbol of destiny whispered in the assemblies of the white-bearded elders. Kızıl Elma was more than a name. It was a vision, a future where justice reigned, where the crescent rose over mighty walls, and where the oppressed found sanctuary. To see it in enemy hands was to see the very spirit of the Kayı marred. Osman looked at his sons, fire burning in his eyes. Let them take Bursa. Let them believe they've won. But a city taken by force will never belong to tyrants. The red apple may fall from the tree, but it does not rot, it waits for the worthy. His words spread through the tribe like wildfire. Warriors sharpened their blades. Mothers whispered stories of heroism to their children. The elders gathered, not in despair, but in planning. The spirit of the Kayı had been wounded, but not defeated. And as night fell, a single star shone above the tribe, brighter than the rest. Some said it was a sign. Others called it a promise. But for the Kayı, it was a spark of hope, a light that reminded them that every darkness births a dawn. The road to reclaiming Bursa would be long. Blood would be spilled. Lives would be lost. But one truth echoed louder than the silence of the fallen city. The dream of the red apple lives on. And those who dared to steal it would soon hear the war cry of a people whose roots were deep, whose resolve was unshakable, and whose leader, Osman Bey, had never bowed to fate, but shaped it with the edge of his sword.